Welcome back to another Creative Encounter podcast episode. I am your host, Juiette Payne, and I'm excited to have you back for episode 34 of this podcast. Once again, I cannot thank you enough for vibing with me, for showing up and being interested in this podcast and showing your interest, whether on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on all of the platforms you guys have been reaching out and letting us know that this podcast has been a blessing, including social media, Facebook, Instagram. You guys have just been here and I'm so excited. It blesses me that this is blessing you. So thank you so much. If you are on YouTube, if you frequently watch but have not hit that subscribe button yet, I don't know what the holdup is, but go ahead and hit subscribe and hit the bell so that you are notified because we drop an episode weekly. So you don't want to miss any of those. Also, if you're on Apple Podcasts, I would love for you to leave a review on there. And on Spotify, go ahead and leave us a rating. I would absolutely appreciate that because it allows us to reach so many more kingdom creatives and bless them and allow them to get to the next level of their faith, which is the start of it, and then being able to venture out and do what God is calling them to do. So this is a very special thing, and I would love for you to be a part of that. So go ahead and subscribe and join our community. Before we dive into today's episode, it's going to be a really great one. This is going to help you to understand who you are as a creative, and this will hopefully encourage and motivate you to launch out and propel and do what God is calling you to do. But before we go into that, I do have a very special announcement. It is summertime right now, and there are going to be some awesome summer events coming up, including July 22nd. I will be having a live album recording. Yes, a live album recording. Juiette Payne and the band, we will be performing, having a concert, a performance, but it will be a live album recording, and I want you to be there. So it has been 10 years since the drop of my first single, Hold On, and my first EP, Eternal Dance, all right? So it's been 10 years, so this is kind of like an anniversary celebratory event where we are going through a lot of songs that we have written over the years, a lot of songs that we have performed over the years, and we are putting this into an event called Unashamed, a live worship experience. Again, it's going to be on July 22nd, 2023. More information will be coming. The RSVP link and all of those different things will be coming soon. I'll be putting that in every podcast episode leading up to the event, so you don't forget, but make sure you're there because we want to have an audience there. We want to hear you guys vibing on this recording. We want to see you guys there. This is going to be a big event, and I want to see you guys there. So more details will be coming, and the link will be in the bio as we continue to promote and push and market this event. So make sure you are there. It's going to be a special night of worship. Now we can get into today's episode. This is going to be a really good one. I did not know previously, when I was younger and getting into my creativity as an artist, a sketch artist specifically, and then getting into music, and then getting into architecture and graphic design and all of the different gifts that God has blessed me with, I did not consider and think that all of us as creatives, we have specific creative types, specific creative personality types as relates psychologically. All of us do things differently as creatives. It blew my mind. Now, this is different. This is different from saying, I'm a sketch artist, I'm a graphic designer, I'm a web designer, I'm an architect, I'm a photographer, I'm a videographer, I'm a painter, all these different things. I'm a musician, a singer-songwriter, all these things. These are different facets and things that we do as creatives, but there are specific ways that we think as creatives, and that is our specific creative type. Okay, so I discovered this, I believe about 5-6 years ago, and some of you guys may have come across this, but Adobe, the creative suite that has, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, all of those platforms, Adobe created this amazing, I guess I want to say quiz or test that is for the creative specifically so that you can discover what your creative type is. And I took this test and it was freakishly accurate, like ridiculously accurate, So I took this test and I was like, man, I have to do this. So this was about, I'll say 2018, 2019. And most recently I was like, let me bring this back up so I can share this with the creative community because I feel like sometimes we get stuck before we even start because we don't even know who we are as a creative. We just know we have these gifts that God gave us And we're like, how do we utilize these? How do we process who we are before we try to share this gift with other people, right? Because a lot of times others will have demands on us, and we can shift and shape ourselves and how we think and how we process and how we do our creativity, our art, right? How we do these things to meet their needs, right? But sometimes we have to start and pull back and figure out, who are we? Who am I as a creative? How do I work? How do I operate? How do I think? How do I process? How do I see the world around me? Put those pieces together so that I can present that this is my art. This is who I am. This is who I was designed to be. This is how I execute on that, and this is how I work. And then people will gravitate toward your unique self. So that's very key. So today we are going to talk about the 8 creative types. And this is really awesome. You can check this out on Adobe. I will have that link. And I'm going to walk through each one. And as I read each one, I want you to tell me which one you relate to the most. So I want you guys to converse with me, comment whether it's on Spotify, and comment if it's on YouTube, and let me know which creative type you resonated with the most, okay? So it's going to be very, very important. So we are going to jump into this. I'm going to first name the 8 creative types, and then I want you to tell me which one you relate to the most. This is crazy. Once I tell you the description of each one, you're going to really feel related to these categories. Now remember, these are not black and white. These aren't fully... you can have multiple traits from each one, right? But some of these are just like completely accurate. And I'll share with you which one is mine when we get to that specific one, okay? So here we go. We're going to dive in now. So the 8 creative types are the artist, the thinker, the adventurer, the maker, the producer, the dreamer, the innovator, and the visionary. Okay, so those are the 8 creative types: artist, thinker, adventurer, maker, producer, dreamer, innovator, visionary. Okay, all of us who are creative, we fit under at least one of those categories, like full on. Like when you read these, it's crazy how all of it related to me when I took this test. And I took it a couple times, and it met the same goal. And now also keep in mind, depending on what season of life you're in, whether you're just getting into your creativity or you're years down the road, or you've worked on certain projects in different fields, and then now you're in a new season of life, when you retake the test, it may change. It may shift and change. It may be a mix of a few, but it is accurate for whatever season you're in. It is crazy, okay? So I'm going to break down each one and read the description. And also what's beautiful about this, what I love, is because artistry, you have to connect with others, right? We are in a community. You can't do this in isolation. First of all, you can't do it in isolation because there's no way that you can create and do it in isolation, because your work has to get out there to people, right? So you have to be able to do this in a communal fashion. You have to be able to relate to people, have those conversations with individuals, see what their needs are, see how you can deliver it with the gift that God gave you, and all of those things, right? So what's really cool about this test is that when you take it, they also mention which other creative type you should connect with in order for you to thrive in your creativity, okay? I'm going to explain as we go through this, okay? But first I'm going to explain what, the description or the information regarding these creative types, okay? So the creative type test is an exploration of the many faces of the creative personality. Based on psychology research, the test assesses your basic habits and tendencies, how you think, how you act, how you see the world, to help you better understand who you are as a creative, right? So these personality types aren't black and white labels. Think of them more as signposts pointing you toward your full creative potential. While there's probably one core type that best describes you, you may change types at different points in your life and career, or even at different stages of the creative process. As a creative, you have a little bit of all 8 types inside of you. Yes, this is very true. I completely agree with this. So that's on the Adobe site. That's how they wrote that. So I'm going to go in order with the 8 types that they have. Here we go. So the very first one, the artist. Okay, so we are talking to the artist. The sub kind of mantra that they have under it says the artist, seeing beauty, creating beauty. Okay? So, creative strength. You have the ability to bring ideas and concepts to life. Untapped potential. Becoming totally fearless in your expression. The ideal collaborator would be the producer. And we'll talk about the producer, later when we get to that, okay? So, as an artist, you need to create in order to feel truly alive. Full of ideas and visions, you're driven by the desire to express yourself and transform the world around you. The artist type lives in space between the inner and outer worlds, and your gift is the ability to powerfully manifest what's inside of you. That's not always an easy task, but with it comes the capacity to create work that speaks to others on a deep level and inspire new ways of seeing the world. With your love of beauty and the connection to your senses, you have a strong aesthetic orientation and you crave well-designed environments. Whatever creative field you end up pursuing, you tend to work best on your own and crave the independence that lets you freely follow your creative impulses. You're at home in a state of flow, easily becoming so engrossed in whatever project you're working on that you lose all sense of time and space. Your biggest challenge is working through creative blocks stemming from your emotional nature. You know well that in the war of art, fear and self-doubt are your biggest enemies. Practice diplomacy instead of waging war, and you'll learn to turn enemies into trusted allies, pointing you in the direction of creative greatness. In other words, listening to your fear can tell you exactly what you need to do. Together, the artist and the producer, okay, so this is the part where they speak on collaborating with another creative type, right? Together, the artist and the producer form a powerful creative duo with the vision and drive to manifest ideas on a large scale. Seek out collaborations with a dynamic, pragmatic producer to amplify your impact and take your projects across the finish line. Okay? Now, if any of this resonates with you as the artist, go ahead and comment below and let me tell me how this relates to you and different situations where you've seen that these points have been evident in your life specifically. Okay? So that is the artist. After that, we have the thinker. The thinker, deep thoughts, big questions. Okay? So the creative strength, intellectual curiosity, ability to find and create meaning. Untapped potential, bridging theory and practice, applying ideas in real life. Okay? The ideal person you want to connect with or collaborate with is the adventurer. Okay? So for the thinker, the examined life is truly the only one worth living. Ever the perpetual student, you experience the world as an endless opportunity for learning, discovery, and truth-seeking. Driven by an insatiable intellectual curiosity, the thinker makes the quest for knowledge and truth a lifelong pursuit. With all those big questions and abstract thinking, you've got some serious electrical activity going on in that brain of yours. Few things satisfy your inquisitive mind more than a well-formulated question or an elegant solution, and you're content to spend much of your time alone, studying topics that fascinate you, and engaging with your inner world of ideas. Your greatest gifts are your sense of wonder and depth of perception. You can see the big picture and the deeper meaning of almost any situation in a way that few others can. Your biggest challenge? Getting out of your head and learning to balance theory with practice. Try not to get too caught up in concepts and abstractions. Dear thinker, great ideas are meant to be brought to life. Seek out the company of the adventurer type, who provides the perfect counterbalance to your introspective and analytical nature. The infectious energy and playful spirit of the adventurer reminds you to embrace the joys of creation and to not be afraid to get your hands a little dirty in the process. Okay, so I'm going to pause here. Now, this is a test that I want a lot of us to take. As many of us as possible, I want us to be able to take this exam because, as you can see, you want to connect with a different type. So how are you going to know what the other type is unless people in your circle of creativity are taking this test too, and you guys kind of connect and collaborate and spur each other on just from how God naturally created you. So it's just so cool. Just how we have spiritual gifts, these are our creative gifts, abilities that we want to tap into, right? But I'm pausing here on the thinker, Because again, my wife and I, we both took this test. I came across it. Maybe I saw it on Facebook, saw it as like an ad on Facebook, maybe again, 2018, 2019. Took this test, showed it to my wife, and it was amazing. She loved it. She took this test, and she fell under the category of thinker. And it was crazy. She was just like, man, this is crazy how this relates to me, because she has so many amazing ideas, but then it'll take that extra step to actually execute on it. It'll be so many phenomenal things. Like, we have so many conversations, and I'm like, yo, babe, you have to get this out there. This is fantastic. Get it out there. But it seems that she would need to really connect with someone who is that adventurer type, who can really spur her on and kind of help her to feel like she can do that. Because I love that they put in here, you want to try not to get caught up. You have to remember, great ideas are meant to be brought to life. So you have all these ideas in your head, but it's meant to be brought to life. People should be able to experience these things. So that is the thinker, and we want to make sure that you are out there getting your work out there, right? So now, segueing from that, going to the adventurer. So much inspiration, so little time. How many of us can relate to that, right? So the adventurer, high levels of creative energy, the spirit of curiosity and play. Committing yourself to developing one particular skill or project is your untapped potential. The ideal collaborator that you want is the artist, okay? There's no telling where the impassioned creative quest and endless curiosity of the adventurer may lead. Fueled by high energy levels and boundless enthusiasm, you're easily inspired and more than willing to follow your fascinations wherever they take you. Adventurer types are passionate, expressive, multi-talented creative spirits with a natural ability to entertain and inspire. As an adventurer, you're never satisfied to just come up with ideas. Instead, you have almost compulsive needs to act on them. Your abundant energy fuels you in the pursuit of many interests, hobbies, areas of study, and artistic endeavors. You're a fast learner, able to pick up new skills and juggle different projects and roles with relative ease. A true Renaissance person, you're likely to develop expertise in a number of areas over the course of your life and career. You have a huge amount of energy that needs to be released on a regular basis. When your energy doesn't have anywhere meaningful to go, you can easily become frustrated, aimless, and even depressed. Keep it moving. It's critical to find fulfilled creative outlets, including ones that may commit to developing over time. You're a people person with deep emotions and empathy. Adventurers are natural storytellers and performers. You have a powerful ability to inspire and are at your best when you're sharing your creative expression with others. Adventurers have mastered one of the most elusive and powerful secrets of creativity. The more freely you give of your talents for the benefit of others, the more you earn the divine favor of the muses. Keep the inspiration in circulation, and it will come back to you tenfold. Seek out collaborations with artist types to jointly explore new creative horizons. The artist's connection to the deeper source of inspiration will inspire you to direct your adventurous spirit toward the journeys of self-exploration. This one was dope. This one was cool. So the adventurer, this one actually reminds me of myself. This is not my, what's the word? I guess like my main creative type. I feel like this one's like super close. Like if it was anything else, it would have been this one. I feel like they're like neck and neck. This was not the one that I had on Adobe, but this is my first time reading this one. Absolutely love this one. This was fantastic. This sounds a lot like me. So this is really cool. And I really like that because it helps me, that kind of encourages me, the fact that I'm able to support my wife in that way, because they say that the thinker should connect with the adventurer. And a lot of these, if not all of these traits and tendencies here, I relate to. So that's how, we can connect in that way. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So the next one here is the maker. Committed to your craft. Ooh, very nice. So the maker, focus and dedication, ability to achieve mastery. That's your creative strength. Your untapped potential, taking creative risks, finding joy and play in the process. Your ideal collaborator, the visionary. So, driven, Focused and dedicated to the creative process, the maker has mastered the art of manifesting ideas and visions in three-dimensional form. Society greatly benefits from the work of the maker types, who develop the systems, structures, tools, and innovations that the rest of us rely on. One of the hardest workers of all the types, the maker is almost always busy solving problems, making headway on personally meaningful goals and completing projects. There are few things that bring the more satisfaction than applying your brain power to crafting things and making process in any form. You tend to excel in design, crafts, architecture, and other fields that blend artistry with business and technology. You're driven by tangible results and you know how to deliver. A quiet type. You enjoy collaboration, but generally prefer to work alone so you can focus on your own creative process. You know how to play the long game, and you're not afraid to do the unglamorous legwork that goes into building something of value over time. Your gifts of focus and dedication can lead to achieving mastery and coming to be seen by others as an authority in your field. Your biggest challenge? To connect more deeply with your intuition and emotions in order to bring forth even more authentic and original work. Productivity is only half the equation of doing great work. The other half is inspiration. Creating the space to dream, imagine, and play can keep your work from becoming rote and mechanical. Okay? Combine forces with the enterprising visionary to take your creativity to new heights. The visionary's soaring imagination gives you permission to dream big and envision the impossible, and to fearlessly risk failure in order to make it a reality. This one is dope too. That's what I'm saying. Like reading these, I'm like, man, there's bits and pieces that fall, that I see myself even falling under that category. So again, so far we are halfway through this. I want you to let me know which one of these is resonating with you the most. These are so good. Okay. So next is the producer. Process is power. Okay. So the producer, creative strengths, strong leadership skills, ability to make things happen, untapped potential, balancing productivity with purpose. Man, that's a good one. That's a good one, man. Okay. So the dreamer, that's the ideal collaborator that you want to connect with. Okay. So the producer is the quintessential doer of all the creative types. People-oriented, analytical, pragmatic, and dynamic. You have a highly creative nature that's balanced by a grounded realism and get-it-done attitude. In your eyes, an idea has real value only when it's turned into something that others can enjoy and benefit from. Highly goal-oriented and results-driven, you pursue your desired outcomes with a laser-like focus. You derive great pride and satisfaction from your ability to implement ideas, and you find joy in the process of creation with all its ups and downs. A natural organizer with an ability to motivate and inspire others, you gravitate to collaborative and leadership roles. You know how to make everything and everyone work together to see a project through to the end. Along with your intellectual prowess and strong work ethic, your greatest strength is your ability to keep a cool head and single-pointed focus as you work through any and all challenges that arise during the creative process. But while keeping your eyes on the prize, don't get too fixated on results. Your greatest challenge is anchoring your productivity in a deeper sense of purpose. You'll tap into your true creative depths when you can tune into your voice and your intuition and use it as a source of guidance. Seek out the company of idealistic and imaginative dreamer types who remind you that there is a limitless inspiration to be found within. Let the dreamer spark your imagination and inspire you to think even bigger. This was on point. So, the producer was my creative type. This is the main one. All this, when I read this, I read it like 2-3 times. When I first read it, I was like, man, this is me from top to bottom. It's like, I don't feel satisfied. If I have an idea, it has to manifest or I'm not satisfied. I'm very results oriented, but I have to really just focus and enjoy the process as it continues on. That's very key. I have a get it done attitude, like it's going to get done. it just has to get done. Bringing teams together, the whole nine. So like, this is fantastic. And then connecting with the dreamer type to know like, yo, get to this level, you can go even deeper. Let's keep this going higher and higher, right? So any of you dreamer types, let's connect, let's make this happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's producer right there, which I absolutely loved. All right, and then next is the dreamer. So for those who are curious, if you are a dreamer or feel like you're a dreamer, here it is. We're about to find out right now. So the dreamer, the power of imagination unleashed. Okay. So your creative strength is connection to emotions and imagination, empathy and sensitivity. Untapped potential, using dreams to fuel real world action. Okay. And the ideal collaborator is the innovator. So the world is a place of beauty and magic in the eyes of a dreamer. Where others see facts and figures, you see symbols, metaphors, and hidden meanings. You're deeply emotional and intuitive with a vivid imagination, the quintessential idealist and romantic. The inner world is always where you felt most at home. You're happy to roam your mental landscape of thoughts, emotions, and fantasies for hours on end. You're naturally drawn to express your inner world through literary pursuits, music, and the visual arts. Think of yourself as the magical realist of the creative types. Like the literary masters of the genre, you naturally infuse your everyday life with the beauty and wonders of the imagination. Your greatest gift is your depth of sensitivity and empathy, which allows you to give voice to universal human emotions in a way that touches people on a profound level. Your greatest challenge is learning to balance dreaming with disciplined action, which starts with coming back to the present moment. Let your mind roam free, dreamer, but don't forget to return to the here and now. Practicing mindfulness will go a long way in helping you turn your dreams into reality. Seek out opportunities to collaborate with innovator types who combine your lofty idealism with a focus on pragmatic solutions. The grounded energy of the innovator can inspire you to apply your imagination to real-world change. Absolutely amazing. I love this. This is so great. So this is the dreamer. So the dreamer, you dream, and your mind just goes and just thinks of so many things that can manifest, but you want to be able to connect with the innovator, who is the one who actually makes it happen, right? The pragmatic components of that. You want to actually see it manifest, So make sure you connect in that way, okay? If you feel like you're a dreamer, let us know. So next we are moving to the innovator, okay? So the innovator, move, shake, disrupt, repeat, all right? So your creative strength is the ability to generate new ideas and innovative solutions. Your untapped potential, mastering the art of executing ideas. The ideal collaborator, the maker, okay? So let's go ahead and go through the innovator. The innovator sees everything through the lens of possibilities and progress, problems and solutions. You feel the most yourself when you're using your intellectual and creative power to solve problems and dream up new and improved ways of doing things. Your attention is largely focused on the world around you, and you're constantly probing its structures and systems to find ways to push things forward. Change may be very scary for most people, but for you, it's fuel for your creative fire. A pioneer and trailblazer. You're here on this planet to light the way into the future, helping the rest of us learn to adapt and thrive in times of rapid and unpredictable change. You're a natural risk taker with an insatiable desire to expand boundaries and explore uncharted territories. You're not one to do things the way they've always been done. You thrive when working in service on large-scale change and progress, and your talents equip you well for roles that allow you to experiment and play with ideas. Beware when the initial spark of inspiration starts to wear off and you feel tempted to move on to the next big thing a little too quickly. Oh man, I feel like that one we can we can all kind of relate to that, right? Oh man, that's a big one. Innovators tap into their greater potential when they learn to master the art of follow-through. That's on point. By finding joy in the messy middle of a venture, not just the excitement of the beginning or the satisfaction of reaching the finish line, you'll become a true creative powerhouse. I'm going to read that one more time. So it says here, by finding joy in the messy middle of a venture, not just the excitement of beginning right? Or the satisfaction of reaching the finish line. That is when you'll become a true creative powerhouse. Love it. Seek out creative partnerships with the maker type who have the stamina and dedication to take an idea from concept to completion. Okay? Seeing the maker in action reminds you that taking it one step at a time is much more effective creative strategy than racing to the finish line. That was good. I feel like this is another one that all of us can fully relate to because we just always have so many ideas, and it's so easy with putting this on the back burner to start and venture something else. It's like this sweet spot of like, you have to follow through. Sometimes you can have multiple things going at the same time, right? You know, you're working on an art project and releasing an album at the same time. You know, that is what it is, right? But having that dedication, like the maker, to be like, hey, we're going to start this from inception to finishing this thing off, right? To completion, right? So that's who you want to connect with. Absolutely amazing. Next and last is the visionary. Okay, the visionary. So here we go. So the visionary, full of big ideas. Well, firstly, the visionary, imagining the impossible. Imagining the impossible. So the visionary is full of big ideas, ability to see potential and possibility everywhere. Untapped potential, using your visions to fuel consistent daily actions. Okay. The ideal collaborator is the thinker. Okay. So you live in a world of infinite possibilities, preferred to see things not as they are, but as they could be. You know that life is limited only by the boundaries of your own beliefs. And you're driven to push the limits of, well, everything. Emotional, passion-driven, and full of ideas, the visionary combines a vivid imagination with a desire for practical solutions. Your introspective and intuition nature is balanced by a keen interest in the world around you, and you desire to contribute to society. You're charismatic and expressive. You love sharing your ideas and visions with others and creating communities around shared values and ideals. And your greatest gift? The ability to see the spark of potential in everything and everyone, and to inspire others to see it too. You're able to guide people toward the invisible horizon of a rare generosity of spirit and strength of conviction. Don't get stuck in the dreaming stage, visionary. Your greatest challenge and true power lies in learning to take consistent daily action to create the future you envision. Okay? Seek out the voice of reason of the thinker type to help you take a grounded, rational approach to your creative work. The thinker's deep perception and probing intellect lend a powerful clarity that can bring your visions into sharper focus. Okay? So again, all of these have beautiful things, and all of these have things that they need support with too, right? Like I love how the thinker helps you just sit there and process. Right? That's the beautiful thing of the thinker, to help the visionary to go ahead and like work through the process. Like you have this vision, you want to do daily things towards your vision, because you could just kind of just keep having this vision for something to happen, right? But you need it to happen. So the thinker is going to help you actually sit there, conceptualize this thing, bring the intellectual, lending a powerful clarity. It brings clarity for that vision so you can actually see it manifest itself. So those, my friends, are the 8 creative types. Now I want you guys to let me know which creative type you think you are. Tell me if you agree with this. You know I personally do, but let me know if you agree with this, if you disagree with this. Love to have a conversation about this rather. But man, this is just amazing. I love that they put this test together. I feel like just kind of knowing you are is like the start of having your creativity to get out there. Because sometimes, I'm telling you, we shape ourselves and create things based off what other people or the mold or the box that other people want to put us in. You know, so we talked about in episode 33. We were talking about that very thing, how people can put us in a box, right? And then we can't really explore and see who we are. But this helps to give us a start here, and this just breaks it down. So as you listen back through this, you know, feel free to skim through to the specific points and tell us which one of these creative types you feel like you are, okay? Again, I mean, for me, if I just went back to the overall page that tells me all of them, you know, we got the artist, you know, I feel like obviously artist, you know, thinker, all these different types. Adventurer was a big one. Producer, of course, dreamer, innovative, visionary, all these different types. It's just like it resonated with me, you know, all of these. The one that really hit home was adventurer, producer, Dreamer, Innovator, those were some close seconds, or close thirds rather. It's just like, man, this test was amazing. So I want you guys to take this test and comment below, because we want to start a community here with Creative Encounter Podcast where creatives are just connecting, not just listening and just pondering and, and thinking. We won't just kind of just stay right there. That's good too, but you want to be able to actually connect with people, get out there and begin to create, right? So comment below with what your type is after you take this. It is a 15-question test. And it's crazy the way they designed it too, because it's not just specifically like, do you like to build things? Are you into music? So you must be the innovator or whatever. It's not like that. It's literally basic questions that you wouldn't even think that is connecting with your creativity. And then psychologically, it puts it together, and then boom, it tells you what creative type you are. So I'm telling y'all, mine was blown when they created this. I would love for you guys to take this and let us know what creative type you are. So guys, that is what we have for today. I want you to ponder on this and let us know and connect with someone in that specific area. Again, if you are an adventurer, you want to connect with the artist, and all these different things that they stated as it relates to these different creative types. But guys, that is our podcast episode today. Make sure you let us know. The link is below, so go ahead and take that test. And also, if you want to partner with Creative Encounter Podcast, we would love for you to be a part of this ministry by being a partner with us financially, so we can continue to keep this going, and Juiette Payne music and the upcoming event that we have coming up on July 22nd. All of that helps for us to be able to reach so many people through creativity, through the arts, through music, and all of that. We're able to reach people if you become a partner with us. If you believe in this vision, please join our team and don't hesitate. If you want to give a one-time support donation, that'd be fantastic. But if you want to do this monthly, so that we know that each month we can handle all of these different things and take care of them so this doesn't stop, that would be absolutely amazing as well. Whatever the Lord puts in your heart, but please pray on it. Let the Holy Spirit guide you. And again, whenever I do the podcast, it's just me here. I want to go ahead and say a prayer for you. So let me go ahead and do that right now. Heavenly Father, I pray for the creative who is watching this episode right now. I pray, God, that you speak to them on these creative types, that you tell them how you wired them, how you designed them, how they think, how they process, that they are confident and bold in that, in executing through the gift that you gave them, all of the things that you are calling them to do, God. Pray that you empower them, lift them up, lift their spirits, put people in their circles around them, all the different types connecting and just starting this beautiful community, and that we are being able to just reach the earth and being fruitful through our creativity. Pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Love you guys so much. Again, July 22nd, I will be having a performance, and it will be a celebration 10 years of music so far as a solo artist, Juiette Payne, and we are doing a 10-year anniversary recording called Unashamed. It will be a live worship experience. This will be July 22nd. So for now, save the date. The upcoming episodes onward, we will have location, time, details unfolding as we lead up to that event. But it's going to be a spectacular night, and I want to see you spectacular people there. Again, love you guys so much. Thank you for joining Creative Encounter Podcast, and I will see you next time.